Hey everyone, this week what we're going to learn is how to stay mobile when you're in a seated position for a long period of time. So I was just driving in the car for work and I was in the car for hours and hours and hours. And if you think about it, when you're in the car, you're sitting in a hip internally rotated position in a flex position and your arms are just caved forward. And then if you think about your head, you do sort of a head forward type posture. So being in that position, if you think about it, if your postures are your workout, that's how many hours a day that you spend in that position. So, I drove 7 hours there, 7 hours back in almost under 24 hours, which is kind of crazy, but I really felt it afterwards. So instead of just giving into your tightnesses and just giving into your postures, I want you to try to go against your habits and against the things that you do on a regular basis. So, any posture, you should be able to get into it, but it's not good if you don't get out of it. So you need to get that length back in order to maintain it throughout the rest of your life. So what we're gonna do is just about 5 or 6 little movements, exercises, stretches, movements, you can call them. We're moving the joint and the muscles so that you can keep looser throughout the day. And then when you leave here, you're gonna feel a lot better with the rest of your movements. So instead of being all flexed and tight throughout because you've been in that shortened position, the rest of your movements are going to be efficient throughout the day. So the first one we're going to start with, I like people to use their environment. So I actually would use a wall or a step or a bench. But so you can see from the side, I'm going to use a little step. Okay, like I said, you can use a wall. We're going to stretch our hip flexors. So instead of sitting in a hip flex position, you're gonna extend them and open them up. So a common mistake I see with people is they hinge at their back, because when you're really, really tight, your body doesn't wanna go the opposite way and your muscles don't wanna let your body move the right way. So really focus on maintaining that neutral spine. So I always tell people if they're wearing a belt buckle to kind of curl their belt buckles to their face. So you shouldn't be overarched backwards. So you're gonna put your foot up on the step or on the wall. And there's different progressions. So when you're really tight in your quads and your hip flexors, this might feel like a stretch already. So then you can just stay here and breathe. And if you see, my front leg isn't too far back. I want it to be wide away from your right knee so that you actually have a stable base. It's not necessarily a balance exercise. We actually just want to relax and not flex against the stretch. So again, just breathe into it. I want you to try to do this for 30 seconds and do 3 of them on each side. So that if you want to progress this, if you don't really feel a stretch, you can come up on your elbow. And then eventually you can come up to where you're completely upright. And again, that doesn't all have to be in one session. Work up to it. If you feel you're fighting yourself because it's so tight, so you're trying to let go but it hurts, then just come down. You'll get more out of this than you will out of staying upright if it's making you flex. And then you're going to switch to the other side. Again, you can come on your elbow, or you can come up. And pay attention. It's kind of funny to see that you could be tighter on one side versus the other. So like I said, your habits dictate how your skeleton moves, because your muscles staying in a shortened position for hours, it's going to make them stay like that. So pay attention to what you do throughout the day and what way you twist and which way you turn when you're sitting reading or on the computer, because your body favors toward its tightness. It's uncomfortable to actually go against how it's tight. So you should be pretty symmetrical right to left, just so you don't have internal torque going on. And try to, everything I do, I tell people to be a ninja ballerina, so stealth mode, but I want you to stay upright and your posture should be like a ballerina. Even if you're stretching this way, don't just cave like this. Don't let your head cock back, really stay long. So 30 seconds and 3 on each side. The next one I want you to do is called cat-cow. So you're gonna get in a tabletop position. Try to get your hands right underneath your chest. And I want you to push away from the ground, let your head fall down, and really round your middle back. And hold it for about 20 seconds. So this is the cat. And then you're gonna arch your lower back, shoot your butt backwards, head nice and tall. Again, 20 seconds each way. And I want you to do 4 of those. So one more time, cat, really arch. And then cow, arch back. And really focus on your breathing. If you feel like you're tightening because the stretch is too much, just back out of it a little bit. You'll get more out of that than you will out of a stretch where you're fighting it. Just try to breathe within the stretch. If you can't breathe within the stretch, you shouldn't be that far into the stretch. Good. So I want you to do that 4 times for 20 seconds each way. Now the next one, we're gonna go into cobra pose. And so with cobra, a lot of people, when they arch their back, so it's gonna be on your stomach position. So this is the advanced, but what people do is they hinge too much at their back. So they're actually just cranking on their lower back versus getting the mobility through their hips here. So again, belt buckle, curl it to your face. If you feel too much in your back, instead of doing it this way, you can come down on your elbows, but head nice and tall. Really lift your chest to the ceiling. Same thing, 20 seconds. Really try to push your elbows into the ground to lift your head toward the ceiling. Try not to let your neck sag back like this. Really tuck your chin in. And then you're gonna go into child's pose. So the tips of your toes come together and you're gonna sit all the way back. Really try to stretch your butt away from your head. So like pull your spine apart and stretch your arms the way your head is going. And again, you should be breathing within this. A lot of people I see do this where they're arching back here. I want the movement to be coming from your hip. So really try to arch your butt back and then sit back. So this part of your butt is shooting backward away from the direction of your head. And again, 20 seconds. I'll show you one more time. So cobra, come down, really lift up. If you feel tension in your neck, you can lower yourself down a little bit more, but try to get up there if you can. And then child's pose, feet together, knees wide, butt back. Good. Again, really focus on your breathing. Try to breathe with your stomach. Try not to breathe with your neck here. And so, like I said, the neck is really affected with driving and driving for long periods of time. So we're going to stretch our neck too. So we're going to stretch this side first. I want you to tilt your head to the left and then twist your chin kind of in the air. Take your left hand and grab the base of your skull on the right side. And you can take your right hand and put it behind your back. And that really opens up this entire area here. But again, you don't want to just sit here and crank your head sideways. Again, ballerina, stand up nice and tall, then drop. And if you do the stretch the right way, normally you can't go as far into the stretch because you're actually placing your bones in the proper position and you're usually tight that way. So I want you to hold it for about 20 seconds. And then you're going to switch. So tilt your head to the right, again, nice and tall, then drop. Hand behind your back, base of the skull. Chin goes up this way, as this part of your head goes this way. And breathe. again, one more time. I'm gonna show you one more time, but you guys do 4 on each side. 4 for 20 seconds. If your head wants to like sag forward, really try to tuck your chin back, chest up, breathe with your stomach, and then go. Okay, the next one we're going to stretch out our chest. So when you're sitting there in an internally rotated position, your chest gets really tight, and that really affects how your neck moves. And so you can get those tension headaches or even neck pain. So we're going to lie out. We're going to start like a T on the ground, nice and flat. And so we're going to stretch our left side. I want you to take your right arm, and you can take your leg and help with push with your leg too, and just twist away. So this arm is nice and straight back here. If you feel discomfort in your shoulder, you don't have to keep it up so high. Bring your arm down a little bit. But I like mine straight at chest level. And then twist open. And I don't care about the movement here. It's more about stretching and twisting this way. Really opening up your chest. You'll feel it in your bicep. That's good. And again, don't slop in your neck like I was. Stand up nice and tall. You're gonna do 3 of these for 30 seconds on each side. And then you switch. This arm up here, left arm in, and twist. Deep breaths, make sure you're breathing with your stomach and not your neck. I'll show you one more time on the other side. And as you can see, I'm using my leg to kind of just help my body weight twist the other way. It's not really affecting my stretch, just making it easier so I don't have to push my body weight with my right arm. And you'll see after the first couple stretches, you actually can go a little bit further. So like I said, then your movements throughout the day are more efficient. Then you're not just contributing to your pain or your improper movement patterns. Good. Okay. So 3 for 30 on each side. And then the last one we're gonna do, I want you to sit in a knee bent position, but lie on your back. And you probably know what a bridge is. So most people with a bridge, they really arch their back. Again, curl your pelvis down, shut your ribs, so you're not just arching and flaring here. Shut that down. Head pulls away from your butt. Push yourself like you're going that way, and hold it up there for 30 seconds. So this is the muscles that oppose the hip flexors. So in your brain, when you flex these, it helps these to relax. So you're not just band-aiding the problem, you're fixing it for good. You're not contributing to, again, bad mechanics. So 30 seconds. A lot of people too, they roll out their feet. Keep your knees out, but don't let your foot roll out. You should still be pushing your foot all the way through, and especially on the ball of your pinky toe and your big toe. And you'll see as you start to get tired, you want to flare, so really try to focus. With all these exercises, try to do quality versus quantity. We're really trying to train our brains to move correctly. Otherwise, you're just reinforcing the problem. Good, so I want you to do 3 of those for 30 seconds. And that gets your joints moving the opposite way, and it gets you really feeling a lot better, and feels a lot better. So try them out, let me know what you think, and stay inspired.